Hello, ladies and gentlemen, bringing to you another video for Conqueror's Blade published by Poros Interactive. This is the update log for February 13th, and I will go over February 7th. I did skip over that one because it was very small, and the whole Chinese New Year thing was basically just gone. Not a lot was going on. Well, I mean, the events that happened for Chinese New Year, but yeah, the just a regular update didn't actually have very many things. Anyway, so we're gonna get our regular maintenance time for APAC, February 13th, 1400 to 1700 UTC plus 8. EU AMS, February 13th, 700 to 1000 UTC plus 1. Expected to last 3 hours. You get 8,000 bronze, 300 honor, 15 unit medals as compensation. They do have this elite event. There is another board thing, but I'll show it to you. I'll show it to you probably. Yeah, I don't know which order. But during the event, all warlords level 9 and above can claim a free 3-day trial for 16 fully upgraded, fully doctrine enhanced selected units, including the Queen's Knight and Siphonarioid. By purchasing Elite Unit Access Premium Privilege, you can instantly receive a valuable unit medal bundle and extend the access period by an additional 30 days. Note, the units of Elite Unit Access can only be used in Siege, PvE battles, and ranked battles. Event time is February 13th, 2025 after maintenance to February 27th, 2025 before maintenance. I don't. I never like temporary access. I don't like the idea that. Yeah, essentially that's just going to be the extent of that. But I do think. I do think. Um, there are some things that seem a little. It seems a little sus, to say the very least. We just came from an event that just basically gave us a free tier 4 and a free tier 5, but it wasn't fully mastered, it didn't have doctrines, that kind of thing. So every time I'm just reminded that progression is getting worse and the hurdles to go over is just really bad. The big major hurdle is, of course, the leveling of a unit. Then you do the then you do doctrines, and now we have mastery being added on. So it's a barrier to entry, and it is also just a progression difference for all PvP game modes. So it's just really, yeah, I don't like it when I think about it, even though I played this game for like ages. But yeah, um, take this as you will. The elite units will have at least a 3-day free trial for 16 units, so have fun with them if you don't have them. For number 2, we have the Valentine's special event, so exclusive ranked item and limited time festive helmet giveaway. So True connection is priceless, so climb the ranks together during the event. Sign in for 7 days to receive rank battle items and the limited time Valentine's Day helmet, the Loved Up. New ranked battle item. Oh, this is going to be really bad. Rank boost card grants an extra star after a ranked battle victory below the Grand Champion stage. Rank protection card prevents losing stars and crown points after a ranked battle defeat below the. Whoa, what? Did I? Oh my god. Ah, wow. Just got a major headache now. Anyway, this goes from February 13th to 2025 after maintenance to February 20th, 2025 before maintenance. Earn a hidden helmet by teaming up and receive daily Valentine's Day attire rewards. Join Siege Battle daily for a chance to earn up to two Valentine's prize chests, complete a Warden daily quest, and participate in a Siege Battle as a team to earn one Valentine's prize point. Opening the chest guarantees one of the following: Hidden Valentine's Helmet, Cupid Blessing, Short Bow Attire, God of Love's Arrow, Bow Attire, Hunting Arrow, Hero Emote, Cupid's Arrow, Hero Emote's Propose, and Treatises times one, having both the Valentine Helmet, the Loved Up, and Cupid's Blessing unlocked. The epic title Meant to Be goes from 13th of February 2025 all the way to 20th. So you only got a week. That means approximately 28? No? 21. 21 chances. Honestly, I don't think I'm going to be able to achieve this one, but not that I really care too much. So one's a bow one and one's a longbow one. I think this is the longbow one and this is the short bow one. It's kind of annoying how this one's golden and this one's silver. But then again, I mean, like, the gold one looks prettier. The silver one just looks better. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Um, I actually, I actually do like kind of the helmets being very thematically similar. Just a little bit of difference, the coloring. Up to you. I do think that, like, this style of coloring is actually really good. But at the same time, you could still have a little bit more consistency between the genders. Not that it matters if it's not gendered. Cupid's blessing the love. Oh, it's not gendered. They're two different helmets. Yeah, they're two different helmets. I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be two different helmets, which is good. Which is good. I like that. I like how it's presented though. So, I mean, I'll be honest, I do like the red one better, but the pink one's very nice as a picture. I'm not sure how it's going to look in game just yet. Attire chest rotation. You got the Moon Twinkling Mighty Guardian and Onibi Army attire chests now available. Legendary Chain Dart Scimitar attire. Moonfrost, the legendary Pike, Draconic Fatalis, and the hero attire Onibi Tenmu are back for a limited time. Wow, I really don't like the name changes. It used to be called like Imperial Officer's Uniform, but it doesn't matter too much. I think the Onibi Tenmu is much better because it definitely does look like the Onobi one. Dracanos Fatalis, probably the first legendary, I believe. If I'm not wrong. I I just can't obsess. I can't help but obsess over like the color scheme in its entirety is just amazing. The gold, the black, the mask itself. I love the hat. The hat's always just amazing. Too bad they don't have like hair physics as good as what's presented in the picture, but it's a really cool attire looking. I still hate getting hit by Moonfrost. It is blinding the amount of effect, but because it's a nice ice blue, if it was a bright blue, I might go insane, but the ice blue somehow doesn't hurt my eyes, unlike the flashing red color of the Akuma's Claw. That I do not like. Oh, talking about really idiotic gendered attire things. This one's really bad. The fact that we have the event attire now returns to store, the hero attire, Sunset um, Ode, and the Moonlight Serenade. You can get them from the C to store or P personalize or G exchange shop. Okay, interesting. I would have loved a matching outfit for this like blue dress thing. I can imagine where they got this from as some kind of like wuxia art. There's so much to it though, but you could you could kind of imagine what a male version of something like this would look. Obviously, you could think about a female version of what this would look very easily because it wouldn't be that different. Uh, Too bad. Again, the upsetting thing is that they definitely made the Moonlight Serenade match up with the legendary Moonfrost, which is stupid because it's just like, what are the males supposed to do? The Sunset Odes looks terrible with the Moonlight. Sorry, with the Moonfrost. So, ugh. We also have the Doctrine Pool Rotation. Armstrong Redoubt is open. In this event, you can find the epic quality doctrines for Javelin unit is increased. You got February 13th, 2025 after maintenance, and February 27th, 2025 before maintenance. So you've got 2 weeks if you want to collect some Javelins. Well, Javelin doctrines. Not that I think any of them are hella important. Um, I think the best one is the damage one, and that doesn't have a tier 5 alchemy version, so yeah, I think that's one of the best one. Other than that one, the ammo one's pretty good for like base wise. It's 30 ammo, 250 damage javelin, I believe. Those two are pretty good. The block break one can be fairly important in cases where there's just like a lot of shield, like right now, Spartan Trojans are going out of control. But I mean, you also have just a ton of phalanx around, so there's also those guys that need to get skewered, but their block is tiny. 300, I believe. 300? Check last time. Enhanced Spring Festival rewards. Chinese New Year rewards upgraded. The special Sparkling New Year's title, Spring Arrival, and the Onslaught Challenge title, Commander of Tactics, will become permanent after the maintenance of February 13th. Acquiring these titles will grant them permanent status. Warlords who obtained them before the maintenance will receive the upgraded titles via in-game mail. Thank you for your support in 2025. We wish you a year full of success and countless victories. Honestly, I literally gave up getting the Commander of Tactics, and I didn't even realize that it was only temporary. So, well, now it's going to become permanent, so there's that. Oh, God. Now, new items in the attire chest exchange. We have the Moonfrost going for 300 curios. Purchase limit of one. You don't need a second one. And it goes from February 13th to March 6th, so for a very long time. I think it's 3 weeks in this case. Some other bug fixes and optimization. Optimize the display state of elite unit selection. If all rewards have been claimed, the event page will no longer appear. What? Are they talking about the other unit selection one? That's weird. Why would they have an optimization inside the bug fixes of an event that they are just releasing? That's hilarious. Fix missing text in the Demez Spearman and Spear Sergeant's Mastery. I can't remember what they're referring to, but I'm pretty sure there's plenty of incorrect text everywhere. There's a lot of missing text. There's a lot of incorrect text everywhere, and it's like English version in particular. Since that's the one I'm using. I'm pretty sure like other languages have their own localization issues, but I play in the English one, so it's just really annoying. Also, just like inconsistent. The whole reading the spear and shield, the shield and spear, like removes rigid or stiffness, and it's just like, you mean days? And there's this like, I'm just always surprised how many times they can use the word stun to refer to an arbitrary control effect, and it's just like, you mean concussion? Or do you mean daze? Or do you mean a knockdown? And then there's also like people really confusing me because they introduce words like stagger or struct, and I'm just like, they're not conventional because they're not terms that I use, but if I was to put an equivalent term, people have just been using stagger when they should be referring to days, and they say struck when it's actually a knockdown. But they also use it interchangeably to describe throw, and that's really irritating. But now you also have the upgraded throw. I don't even know what to call it, but the kick is like throw plus. So there's that as well. Obviously, the stun on brace doctrine is also a really controversial, like, localization kind of thing. Everyone thinks that, like, the stun on bracing is different, but it's just a daze, and it's really irritating when people don't understand what is happening with the units that can get stun on brace, but already have stun on brace on their abilities, and the fact that stun on brace don't actually affect cavalry most of the time. And what I mean by that is that cavalry normally do not care about stun on brace when they activate their abilities, especially the special ones. What really matters is the innate effect where the brace will cause a startle effect. That's the more important one. The stun effect, much more muted, but it does work. Not that you'd ever run into a cavalry that wouldn't be in their ability, though. Anyway, continuing on, fix an issue where bagpipers and siphon arrows could not equip the following doctrines. So it's just the piercing defense plus health, slashing defense plus health, blunt defense plus health, and those are all like the alchemy fusion doctrines. So it's kind of weird that those weren't included, considering that they should just be upgraded versions for the defense doctrines. I'm pretty sure they should be overlapping with the defense doctrine, but it's strange that they couldn't equip them. So fix an issue with Helot Auxiliary where using the Ammo Depot skill would sometimes fail due to seeking enemies to attack. That's hilarious that the skill itself would have a targeting algorithm on it, even though it just requires them to place something on the ground. I mean, logically, they're placing something on the ground, but how you code it can be very strange. The Hello Auxiliary will now remain in formation before and after construction. Oh, okay, so this is probably... Oh, the Ammo Depot skill would sometimes fail due to seeking enemies to attack. The Hello Auxiliary will now remain in formation before and after construction. Okay, so the supply thing, not the drop ammo one. That's what I think they're talking about here. Fix an issue in the onslaught mode where troop force at the start of the round would not show at 100%. Okay, small UI bug. Fix an issue where Spartan chosen using No Mercy alongside Spartan Vengeance would cause abnormal effect of Oath of Unity trait. Yeah, it's where the Oath of Unity trait doesn't trigger properly, and that happens a lot, honestly. That happens a lot. Also, like when you cancel the formation part after using No Mercy, you can actually just have Spartans in formation with Oath of Unity activated, and for some reason it just stays on perpetually, and it's really funny. Um, but yeah, there's a whole bunch of bugs with like this Oath of Unity trait, which I think is really hilarious. And I mean, like they fix the main issue where it just didn't trigger at all when we use it on the PTR. This trait alone is just like really hilarious. There's been a lot of abnormal effects. Apparently, at some point, damage reduction effects would happen after the damage sharing, and the hilarious thing about that is there are flat damage reductions that would go absolutely insane because of the damage sharing. So instead of triggering like the 90 damage reduction once, it would trigger 28 times as the damage got shared. But I think they fixed that. I think they fixed that at some point. Whether or not that's true or not, I've no idea. Whether or not it was true before, I have no idea either. I never tested something like that. But that's just what I hear. Fix an issue where Spartan Chosen. So that is to say that doesn't happen anymore. So don't quote me about them that flat damage reduction is better on them. Even though I would say that like the damage reductions are pretty high in the first place, so flat damage reductions is probably better anyway. But yeah, don't quote me on that. Fixed an issue where Spartan Chosen could not use Spartan Vengeance even when their momentum was full due to rapid formation switching. Yeah, I don't know why they lock out the ability to use Spartan Vengeance in certain formations. It's still kind of strange why this needs to have a limitation, but I can understand it in the context that they try to avoid one particular thing, which is really hilarious because they remove it for a lot of other things. But what I mean is to say is stacking. Players will stack units as much as possible to concentrate the effect. The fact is the circle formation is super dense. Is insanely dense. Like that thing is super tight. It's like a bowl of 28 units, smaller than any Shiltron formation in the game. And I think what I think they I think they I think they locked the ability to use Spartan Vengeance in that formation because of how dense that formation is. Which, again, is really stupid, but like I can see why they did it, but it's just really stupid to me that they constantly remove collision and allow units to stack only to walk it back in some areas and they're just like controlling it in such an inconsistent way. Not to mention, it's just like it doesn't even matter. You can definitely kind of manipulate the unit anyway. I think the fix to this abnormal rapid switching is because people were trying to switch to the circle formation switch to the circle formation, but then cancel it with another order, then activate the Spartan Vengeance, but they waited too long, so they got locked out. And when they tried to use the Spartan Vengeance, um, it wouldn't trigger because they got locked out. And then they try to change formation again in order to trigger Spartan Vengeance, only to then permanently get locked out because the skill would hard lock. Well, this is just a guess, and I don't know why I'm explaining this. It's just this fix, it's gonna fix, so great. That's great. Fixed an issue where completing the fourth stage of unit challenges for Spartan Chosen would erroneously trigger an invalid epic quest, which probably is the random ass Varangian Guard quest, which is hilarious actually. I think someone's brought this up, but like apparently when you complete the fourth phase or when you basically unlock Spartan Chosen, it would trigger the flag for Varangian Guard quest to trigger again, or I mean, not again. Basically, it would flag the Varangian Guard quest to open, which again, if you like didn't hear, you unlock Spartan Chosen only to unlock the Varangian Guard quest, so that's hilarious. Oh, fix an issue where the rapid pressing of Aegis Retribution and Ares Cleave would cause Ares Cleave to fail. Interesting. Not sure if I've actually ran into this, but maybe I have. There's a lot of like rapid button pressing things that I normally attribute to just lag, but it could be something like this because like there is a lot of times I would try to trigger Age Retribution and Ares Cleave back to back instead of doing combo follow up, which is really terrible. I think combo follow ups are the best and really, really does flow well when you go bam, bam, stab, and then Ares Cleave follow up with another combo. It flows so well. Like the class is definitely one where combo flow is just insanely fluid between the basic attacks, the abilities, the just everything in your kit just flows so well. The kick into a spear throw, into a running sprint attack. But there are some other things that is really weird. Is the instant get up of doing like there's some weird stuff that's happening as you can do a right side, like basically the sidestep. You can you can actually cancel a lot of animations with the sidestep, and that is really bad. But at the same time, if you try to sidestep out of stuff that you would normally be able to dodge out, it doesn't work because you get hard locked, which is really funny. So, like a basic daze would hard lock you if you try to do sidestep because what because for some reason like you can't sidestep out of a daze, but you can sidestep out of um the ending frame of a choke of the chain dart choke. You can like sidestep out of a lot of concussion stuff. Like it's really funny. It's really funny. And when I mean funny, it's just like weird. There's a lot of weird interactions. So I'm I don't know how to explain it without just having like examples and like a kind of like list of scenarios that I've noticed. So fix a visual bug with the special effect of the legendary musket attire Snake's Fortune. Fix an issue where shield and spear heroes would experience wrong displacements when changing facing directions during casts of skills. Again, that's just again like being able to do this is insane. All heroes need to do this, or no heroes should be able to do this. I definitely do think they need to backtrack on allowing the spear hero to change facing direction of all skills and attacks because besides the javelin throw, I mean the javelin throw has a hard lock on like the very frame on throw, but like I can basically snapshot the javelin. I can basically track using every skill. Not that like it's hella consistent. I know that Aegis Retribution is really stubborn to hit sometimes. Especially like because the second hit, if you're too sorry, the second hit has this really stupid hitbox where you need to be slightly closer than the skill would allow. So you need to make sure that you're in a front facing trajectory, otherwise, it would never roll catch. Which is dumb because you can actually um, you can actually just uh, kind of finagle your way to the side of your target and then face them directly with the second hit. So sometimes it's just really dumb and I just look at my opponent. But the fact that it doesn't hit is really irritating to me. And obviously like the the hit comes out for the first hit comes out a bit faster than your how far you go. So even though the animation looks like it should reach this far, you actually hit slightly closer, slightly shorter than what your visual would be. But that's kind of like a minor thing, basically unimportant. While Aegis Cleave feels like it just has the largest gap closer in the world. I don't think I miss with that. But then again, the attack itself is just has huge hitbox. Unfortunately, though, it doesn't like circle full around. I wish it did. I wish the sweep underneath also circled full around, but you can you can screen flick that anyway. Fixed a display issue on the ranked battle leaderboard on certain servers. All right. I know I've just been kind of rambling on, but it's just been quite a while, and the first part of this has just not been great. Hello. There we go. Um, I'll just read the February 7th one real quick. Blah 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 blah. Fix an issue where the onslaught quest may not refresh properly. Fix an issue where the unit kill count may be displayed incorrectly during onslaught settlement. Fix an issue in the New Year's puzzle event where puzzle pieces were out of order. Fix a potential refresh error with the lucky red envelope in the sparkling New Year's event. Fix an issue where certain rebels could not be attacked. Fix a problem where some emotes could not be loaded into the emote wheels. Fix a delay in updating the list of lucky winners who drew Nocturnes in the Heat of Alchemy event. A New Year letter, and let's talk about units. So, this is the mostly about the elite unit selection, like limited time, or elite unit access. Yeah, there we go. Greetings, Warlords. Over the past year, we've heard your voice loud and clear. Grinding my unit feels exhausting every time we read these messages. We feel it deeply. New commanders, brimming with ambition, yet held back by grind, forced to retreat before their armies even take shape. The first lesson on the battlefield shouldn't be compromise. As veterans who fought alongside you in Conqueror's Blade, we understand building your unit shouldn't feel like a soulless chore, and your tactical freedom shouldn't be shackled by resource costs. For months, we've been fine-tuning a solution that balances your freedom to play your style with the core integrity of the battlefield. This Lantern event, we're ready to unveil our phased answer? Phased. That's a okay, weird. Limited time event potential unleashed initiative elite unit access. Elite unit free access produces special gift. 16 max level full doctrine units at your command for free help you conquer 5-star battlefields. Obviously, it goes from the 13th of February to the 27th. So the part part one, interesting. It has part one in the background. Limited time offer: 16 max level fully doctrine units. Log in between to receive 3-day command of 16. So, for our tier 5, we have the Medal Battalion, the Siphonautioids, the Queen's Knight / Lancelot Knights. I prefer Lancelot Knight, don't call them Queen's Knight in front of me. The Anudal Cavalry. For tier 4s, we have the Vassal Longbowmen, the Halberdier Sergeants, the Myrmidiones Dagerac Wow, really? Daggerack Lancers? Out of all of the units, Daggerack Lancers is probably out of all of them, Daggerack Lancers is really funny selection. I would have personally picked the Spahis because they are way better and way more fun. Not to mention they're actually stronger than the Daggerack Lancers for the purposes of meta right now. Daggerack Lancers have been power crept. They cannot even damage units enough in order to get like even max even max fully doctrined. I don't even think these things are going to be worth bringing. That being said, continuing on, we also have the Oni Musha. Definitely little terror menaces, but they're squishy, and we've got a lot of meta units that deals tons more damage than them and are way harder to kill. So the only weird thing about them is their disarm, which again is causing issues in certain scenarios. But if you got a shield and you block most of their attacks, they're nothing. Also, we got the Crescent Monks. Really good unit right now because there's a lot of shields. Too bad they're just a 9-man unit, and statistically, they're just really not good. One on one, like you can do well with these guys. It's just really hard to do it. So it's not worth bringing these guys because they're just low efficiency. Um, and a little bit clunky in kind of like how they work. The swine feather the swine feathers have been buffed, and surprisingly, the effect has been very minimal. These guys are actually really good if you rely mostly on not using. Well, you should be using your triple shooting, but it's just like running around, snap shooting is actually way better than trying to lay down continuous fire, um, which is absolutely hilarious because for a ranged unit, you really it's really important for you to deal the DPS, but these guys are just way better at just snap shooting. Just run around, shoot once, run around a little bit more, shoot again, kind of thing. Um, but when the push comes to shove, these guys do a little bit better than most ranged units because they have block break, which is a good thing. Ranged units, I don't believe that they should be perfectly countered by a unit with a shield, but at the same time, I do think dealing too much damage at range is going to be a problem. So even though Swine Feathers are still a little bit low in terms of like overall DPS, the added stakes is quite unique. It gives them options that are really surprising if you're considering to take a little bit of a risk. One of the surprising things that you might not know is um, the Spartan Vengeance counts as a charge. Their stakes cancel the charging state. So it'd be really funny if you plant your stakes in front of a bunch of Spartans that now can't use their Spartan Vengeance. Not that anyone has actually done this. I've tried this, it's really difficult, and I get myself killed. It's honestly impossible to get this out in a way that just doesn't get my unit killed. So there's that. Anyway, we also have the 3-star units. Eh, and the Ironcap Spearmen are they're really tanky, but like with any shield unit, the fact that they can't kill anything is the most irritating thing. They're just really tanky, so I don't think they're cheap as well. So they're good meat shields. The Rapier Pistoliers. I do like me the Rapier Pistoliers. I just wish that I could have a higher tier version of them. The funny thing is as well is that their tier 3 variant is just really good. Like for their cost, it's just really insanely good. I use the Rapier Pistoliers mostly on my ranked battles, especially when on like most of my field ranked battles, and like these guys can catch, these guys can intercept, And it's honestly just like a good thing. Okay, hang on. What I mean to say is that it's honestly just it's a crazy kind of thing where it's where these guys are just so good at kind of doing their their shot that like I've always just had a really good performance with these guys, whether or not it's against infantry, whether or not against other cavalry. Like if someone goes straight for me, I can normally trade equal amounts of leadership, whether or not it's something like, except against companions actually. Companion cavalry is the only unit I would actively avoid. I loved trading with the Zhuangzi heavy cavalry because they're normally stacked up, and as long as they're in like a very dense formation, the pistol shots can normally deal significant enough damage, and depending on timing, I can actually catch them. But most of the people I play against, most of the people I play against never let me catch them because they just activate their stupid immunity at the right time. Other than that, I mean, like, these guys can cycle charge if you're just really, really stubborn with the controls. Like, you basically like half cancel the pistol shot, but even though the pistol shot still goes through, so yeah, you don't let them just waltz right into the enemy. But anyway, like really strong unit, and I do think they deserve a nerf. Not that they'll ever get a nerf. I don't think they'll ever get a nerf. Um, and you might find this really inconsistent with me, but like I do find a lot of things that I do say are more design issues rather than actual power scaling issues. I just think like I just think like this. It's just not everything needs to be like this. You also got the Conqueror Guards, really good upgrade in recent times. I think they're pretty much the best because of just the sheer burst damage you can get out of them. But people will bat for prefecture guards until the end of days, mostly because you can do some really funny stuff with them, and it's mostly to do with like abusing charge doctrines and that. But if you got like basic stuff and you want to just pick up a good unit, the Condottieri is just baseline with the masteries. It's just really good, insanely good. In fact, their burst damage is quite insane. That first hit will also knock back heroes, which I am so glad they kind of brought back in a limited fashion, of course. I don't want I don't want the shield bashing hell to return, but I like I like I like it when units interact with heroes. A bit sad how they changed the paladins to no longer stagger heroes, but that's that. Um, Fenris pack, not a not particularly my favorite anymore. There there were times where I really loved using them, and definitely during the time where they just dealt all of their damage on contact or dealt damage on contact, and that was hilarious. Um, yeah, these guys are just not as ferocious as they should be, considering that they're an 18-man unit. They still deal good amount of damage. It's like the practical limitations on how they work is upsetting because there are faster ways to deal more damage. And it's upsetting that like they're a unit that used to be quite prevalent in like the tier threes, but the masteries just kind of left them in the dust now. Low damage. I mean, like they've been buffed several times. These guys have been buffed several times, and progressively it just goes up and down. Now we're just in a stage where it's just like they've just been left for too long, and power creep's gone crazy. And now we come to I'm not going to call them the other name because I'm just going to call them Alphaladiers because I will fight you that these guys are definitely not what they are named in game. And I swear, if the developers do not give me the actual unit or an actual unit inspired by them, I will go crazy. Well, I've already gone crazy, so that doesn't matter. But anyway, absolutely no buffs to this unit. Like these guys have not changed, which is the hilarious thing. These guys haven't changed. Like the last time these guys were even touched was a change to their leadership down to the current 165, I think. That was the last change. They weren't even affected by a change that affected the halberdiers themselves when the halberdier sergeants got changed, which is hilarious. Anyway, it's a okay unit. You have prefecture pikemen that just do their job the exact same, but way better because it's much more flexible and faster. These guys have a really cool gimmick. Unfortunately, that gimmick doesn't work when it takes 10 years for the charge to come off cooldown. And I mean like 10 years, it's like 40 seconds or something. I think it's like 40 seconds. Or maybe it's shorter. Anyway, um those are the units. Some of the units are very strange picks. I mean, I definitely wouldn't pick the Iron Caps Human, the Alphaladiers, and the Fenris pack. A lot of the other stuff as well, kind of like they're good. They can work, but it's just like Lancelot Knights completely get pushed out. Medaus are a bit strange. Because they're good against cavalry, they're actually okay to bring along, but they're just going to get trashed in infantry fights. They're going to get trashed by cavalries, and it's just like, you're okay against stuff. You're not great, but I don't think they will let you down. Or, no, take that back. They'll let you down all plenty of times, but it's just like, they're surprisingly better than I give them credit for. Though I still think that these guys need a big old buff. Slap on a good old 50% damage increase. Remove the armor, the stupid ass armor thing. Give them the the damage reductions in all states instead of just during their race, and just remove March entirely. Give and reduce the cooldown of Carnage by like 30 seconds. Make that thing like 10 seconds or something. Or reduce it down to something where if you went a particular line, it would be 10 seconds. But yeah. Daggerag Lancers is still just. I wouldn't choose Daggerag Lancers if I was given a choice of like tier 4 cavalry. Either the Spahis or definitely the companions. But I think they didn't give you companions because I think too many people are using the companions, so those guys are too meta. But Spahis would definitely be my first choice if I was to give the players a choice of tier 4 cavalry. Um, I will say you will be disappointed with the effect of Daggerak Lancers, and I won't stop saying that cavalry is not OP, but come on, how they're designed is just completely busted. If you were to fix their efficiency problems, they would just trash everyone. I mean, like you already see it already now, but yeah. Now the annoying part is that you can upgrade your 3-day trial for 33 days with 450 sovereign. Now this says part 2 of it. You also get 50 extra medals and one general challenge voucher. I forget what it's called. Now, there's also Tactical Playground, login, blah, 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 blah. Reduce leadership cost lets you mix and match for endgame ready. What? Diverse playstyles, spears, shield, bow, cavalry. Find your true calling. Seamless transition. Post-event. After the free period, extend for 30 days. Keep your favorite longer with a low-cost renewal. The heck? Renewal? Why launch this during the Latin events? Because we remember the warlords who messaged us last. The 3 straight losses ruined my holiday festive. This update isn't just a lantern guiding you through resource struggle, it's our pledge. We'll dismantle every barrier to your glory one by one. Your feedback will directly shape the Man, I don't know about you, but this is cool, but also a slap in the face. Like, 3 days is not a long time, but they're asking you to pay 450 sovereigns to then extend this access to 16 units. Now, if you're a new player, this is actually amazing. But if you're a long-time player, this is a slap in the face. Mostly because new players shouldn't have to go through the struggle that we have gone. And I say this mostly because the grind to get all of these units have long since been completed for me. If someone new had to go through what I went through, their minds would explode. Not having access to a wide variety of units, especially really cool, really fancy units, and then you just hand them a whole bunch of units, they're not going to be able to even understand most of these units. A new player gonna take a one look at this unit, use them once, be like, oh, this is really cool. Use the next one, oh, this is really cool, and just be like, I want all of these units. That's what they kind of want you to do, and they kind of want you to buy them. The slap in the face thing here is just like, I want people to enjoy this game, but I don't want them to go through the hurdles that I did, and I don't want them to be to feel like they're forced to pay for these things when you can get them for free. So they're just essentially how this appears to me. They're just essentially selling the same thing to new players that I've worked to get. When I think that they should make people pay for new stuff, but don't make people pay for old stuff. Because all of this is old stuff to me. I have everything here. And I want people to enjoy them. Doesn't mean I want them to pay. Doesn't mean I want them to struggle to get these things. I want people to just be like, oh, is medalls cool? Yeah, use medalls. Medalls are great. Just use them. But they can't because they don't have them. Well, oops. Sorry. It's got to pay money to get them. So, I seriously think that the developers really need to consider reducing and speeding up the acquisition of old content. There is no reason to continuously sell the same thing over and over again when your customer base is not growing. And not only are we not growing, the units in question, not all of them have been touched, by the way. The Spahis have long since not been touched. The Lancelot Knights, they're new. Their season, they haven't been touched for a while. And I think the Yang Yudals haven't been touched even longer. Recently, we got a nerf to the Longbrows, but they also got their mastery not so recently. How about your sergeants? Not a great unit in the current state of things. I know Memulona has got changed recently. Daggerak Lancers, absolutely completely left in the dust. We've got plenty of things here that have been touched and some things that haven't been touched. And it's just glaring to me that the developers still haven't fixed or still refuses to speed up the process of fixing units, their gameplay. Mastery is a failure. Their system's a failure. They've deteriorated the gameplay by introducing new mechanics and new units. And that's the thing. New content is great. It should never be stop making new content and focus on the old stuff. It should always be update the old stuff as you introduce new stuff. They left so many things in the dust that as they introduce new stuff with new mechanics, the old stuff cannot compensate, and they refuse to let the old stuff compensate because the new stuff needs to sell well. I'm just spitballing, but that's what I feel, and I'm really feeling the burn when I'm looking at an event like this that basically is just it's just a short event. It's terrible. It's terrible because after this event goes away, the new players are just going to be back where they started. Not to mention, like, I'm not sure about this renewal thing, like low cost renewal. We'll see. We'll see. If this event if this event does go away, I mean, will this event stay around? We'll see. We'll see. I mean, it says log in between February 13th to February 27th, so you only have 2 weeks to be part of this event at the very least. But other than that, hope you guys enjoyed the video. My name's Eska. Have a nice day. Bye for now.